How do you make money as a photographer? I don't actually make any money as a photographer. I make a little bit of money through Instagram. Like if you saw my Adobe sponsorships, those were ads. If you see some of the times that I've mentioned ad in my Instagram page, I obviously get paid in those times, but that's the extent of my money as a photographer. Hey, welcome back to Q&A Fridays. If I'm a new face, if this is new to you, or if this is the first time you're visiting this channel, my name is Tom Noske. I'm a digital artist, photographer, and filmmaker from Melbourne, Australia. So if you're at all interested in any of those topics, or you're interested in any of the photography that I've been releasing, or if you're just wanting to hang around for this big luscious beard, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And if not, wait around to the end of the video. Maybe I'll be able to persuade you by the end. So if you want any of your questions answered in the next episode of Q&A Fridays next Friday, please consider going over to my Instagram. It's at Tom Noske and asking your questions over there. I usually drop a question box like a day or two before, or in this case, an hour before I film Q&A Fridays. So like I said, if you want your questions answered, head over there. But we're gonna jump straight into it today. The first question comes from HP_nature photography, and he asked, when is Tom editing your photos coming back? I've only got so many days in the week. There are so many different shows that I really want to bring back. Things like unpacking that gram, editing your photos, all sorts of tutorials and that sort of stuff, but I've only got 3 uploads a week. I wish I had more. I wish I could upload 7 days a week, but that's just not feasible at the moment. So at the moment, I'm just sort of focusing because I think we only just passed, this is episode 5. So this is the first week in the second month that I'm back into full swing YouTube. I think the habit's sort of building. It's definitely getting easier to be more consistent, but I'm just focusing on at the moment, and I hope you guys will be patient with me. I'm just focusing on building consistency at the moment. And that unfortunately means that I'm not going to be focusing on all the shows that you guys want to see. I'm more going to be focusing on where I can tell stories. So that just means, like yesterday, I went out and filmed something that's completely different to anything that I've ever done photography-wise, filmmaking-wise, whatever. We sort of just had an idea come to mind and we went out and executed on it. And I'm super stoked with that video, but it's just a case of an idea came to mind. We could tell a story pretty quickly. I had enough people around to help me film it, and we made it happen. So at the moment, I'm just focusing on building that consistency and telling stories. The tutorials will be coming back though. If you watched my video on Monday, which you guys seem to absolutely love, you would have seen that new format of tutorials, and I'm going to be bringing more like that one there. Question 2 is from SZYMON_2004. Yes, I'm going to be spelling the names that I can't pronounce because I'm an idiot. If you could go to any place to shoot, where and what time of year would it be? I'm really desperate to go back to Canada in the fall, or for us Australians, autumn time. I think that would be amazing. When I went and lived in Canada in 2017, 2018, it was the middle of winter, so I didn't get to see any of the blue lakes, I didn't get to see any of the trees, I didn't get to see any colour. It was more just the novelty of living in Canada with all the snow, which, don't get me wrong, is still beautiful, but I think going back in the summertime or autumn would be amazing. Z-Town on the beat, I guess. Z-Town on the beat. I'm sorry if I'm spelling it wrong or pronouncing it wrong. How come you don't show no filter shots more often? The world is beautiful without filters. First of all, I'm a little bit insulted that you consider my editing to be filters. I think they're a little bit more than filters, but I don't know. I just don't really. I show my before and afters occasionally, but if the edit's not that intense, the only time I would show the before and afters is if the edit is extreme and it's really, a massive difference from the original, which most of the time it is to most people, but for me, I'm only going to show them when they're intense. So I just don't really think I need to show them. I don't know. Maybe I'll start showing the before and afters more often. I don't know. I just don't. I could talk forever on this topic, but I just don't really. I'm not trying to show the world in some weird. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it today because we'll be here all day. The next question is from that_Asian photographer. What lens is best for video shooting in an intermediate level DSLR? I would say if you're an intermediate level filmmaker, get something that is like an all-rounder. Good at everything, great at nothing. Like my 24-70 is good at everything and great at nothing. which is a fantastic lens for a beginner. It's actually the lens that's on my camera at the moment because I can use it for everything. I'm not gonna use it for everything because I've got my 85, I've got my 50, I've got my 70 to 200. I could even go and rent a 24-1.4, which are all gonna be better lenses in certain circumstances that the 24 to 70 can cover, but the 24 to 70 is by far the best lens that you can start with as a beginner. If you're a more intermediate, I would say getting something like a 70 to 200 or a 16 to 35. You can really get creative at either ends of those. 24 to 70 can be a little bit restrictive as far as what you can create at the extreme ends. Like going below 24 and above 70 can be really good for really making, really expressing emotion in your videos. So I would recommend, if you're a pure beginner, getting yourself a 24 to 70. If you're an intermediate to advanced, I would recommend getting either a 16 to 35 or a 70 to 200. Don't really consider primes until you're certain that you need them, because they are expensive and they're very limiting. The next question is from Clark Simonson, or Simonson, Clark_Simonson. I'm so fucking bad at handles, aren't I? How do you make money as a photographer? I don't actually make any money as a photographer. I make a little bit of money through Instagram. Like if you saw my Adobe sponsorships, those were ads. If you see some of the times that I've mentioned ad in my Instagram page, I obviously get paid in those times, but that's the extent of my money as a photographer. I actually run a freelance videography business, so that's how I make money. I shoot weddings, I shoot sport, I shoot events. Actually, no, I don't shoot events. I don't know why I said that. I shoot sport, I shoot weddings, I shoot fitness entrepreneurs. I shoot a whole bunch of stuff within the fitness and wedding industry. I also do a little bit of travel and tourism, but not as much. And I also do some smaller jobs helping other filmmakers around, which give me experience. I'm trying more and more to make my social media and YouTube channel something that I can begin to live my life on. I'm not focusing all about the money, but obviously if you're putting this much time into something, you want it to be able to support you financially, because at the end of the day, I gotta pay my rent to keep myself in this apartment. I gotta pay for food, I've gotta pay my car bills, I gotta pay my phone bill. Life requires money, and unfortunately, you have to make money as a photographer, or you have to make money doing the things that you're spending a lot of time on. So for me, at the moment, I make all my money through my freelance videography business, but I'm looking to eventually start to make a little bit more money on YouTube and Instagram. I really like this question. It's from either Kim Ithilion or Kimithilion. It's one word, so Kim Ithilion. This show makes me feel like such an idiot, and I hate it. I'm beginning to hate it. I'm just going to show your handles from now on. I'm not going to say them. That's a lie. I'm going to say them. Would you choose to go on an extraordinary trip with a cheap drone, aka a Mavic Air, or vice versa? I'm assuming you mean stay at home and buy something like an Inspire or a more expensive drone like a Mavic 2 or something. As Gary Vee says, self-awareness is extremely important. If you've got no interest in becoming a travel videographer or a travel photographer, then there's no reason that you should save money buying a cheap drone and going on an expensive trip, because you don't need to be going on that expensive trip. Whereas if you're wanting to be a travel photographer and you're going and buying an Inspire 2 kit, which is going to cost you $15,000 to $20,000, and then you've got no money to go traveling, well then you're lost on either end. So you need to consider what you're actually trying to do. Do you want to become a drone cinematographer? If you want to become a full-time cinematographer drone-wise, then you're going to need a professional drone. You're going to need something like an Inspire 2 with an X7 kit, which is going to put you down 15 to 20 grand, but that's okay because you're not spending that money on travel. Whereas if you're someone like me, you don't really care about becoming a drone cinematographer, but in the other sense, I need expensive camera equipment because I run my freelance videography business. So I don't have a lot of money at the end of the day. I don't have a lot of cash to sit on that I can go ahead and travel with. I'm going to work on it in the future because I'm at a stage at the moment where I don't really need any new gear. But like I said, self-awareness is the most important thing. What is your goal? Are you just a hobbyist and this is purely something that you just do on the side? If so, then the Mavic Air is perfect. Or if you can afford it, a Mavic 2 is perfect, and save money for your travels, because those travel images are going to get you that attention that you're after. Whereas if you're just trying to be a cinematographer or a drone photographer, there's no reason that you should be spending 5 to 10 grand on a trip. So think about how your circumstances can play into that decision. Think about what you actually want to achieve. What are your goals? It's as easy as that. What is your goal for the next 12 months? What is your goal for the next 5 years? What is the goal for the next 10 years? What is your ultimate goal in buying this drone or traveling? Because that'll give you an idea of which one is more important to you. It's as simple as that. That was a long-winded answer to a very simple question. What are your goals? Is as simple as it can be. So I'm gonna leave it at that. If you enjoyed this episode of Q&A Fridays, if you enjoy any of the videos that I've been putting out, I would really appreciate it if you could consider subscribing and liking this video and actually leaving a comment down below. But as always, it's entirely up to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.